Professor of Counseling, Martin Wesley. You're joining us here in the Thomas D. Clark Reading Room of the Katie Murrow Library for Lindsey Wilson Conversations. The way this works is while you enjoy your favorite beverage, we will talk about something that is of an area of expertise or interest to you. You have chosen Pepsi as your beverage of choice for this conversation, and our topic of conversation will be addiction treatment. Let's start off by talking about the state of affairs of addiction treatment in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. What is that state?
Well, I think there needs to be quite a few changes is what we need. Right now in Kentucky, we have a state where, by example, if somebody was seeking out some type of treatment program, whether that would be residential, even outpatient, or whatever the case, whether they're looking for themselves or some other family member, they have a hard time finding a place that they can actually go to that's at a reasonable cost that also has individualized treatment for them. For example, if they were seeking out a treatment program that, say, a residential treatment program that was not a 12-step program, was not a religious or spiritual-based program, they could not find it here in Kentucky. They would have to go out of the state. That creates a major problem because forcing anyone into a particular program that is religiously based is against the law. And it's in the case law, whether you're looking at the Kerr decision back in 1996 or whether you're looking at the 2007 Inouye decision, it's very clear that you cannot force anyone to go to a spiritually based program.
Of course, addiction, we read all the time and hear all the time that addiction is a growing problem in the Commonwealth.
It's a major problem. That's one of the challenges, of course, here at Lindsey Wilson College as well, as we're trying to produce professional counselors. In the field of addiction treatment, the treatment primarily has been provided by lay counselors, by individuals that their only credential has been that they've actually had an addiction problem themselves. We are trying to build empathetic, professional counselors that meet criteria and can help that individual from an evidence-based practice, not because what worked for me, but actually working through the evidence, the scientific support that's out there for specific treatments. By example, we do not work on a powerless model here. We believe that people can change, and they do change every day. And we work from self-efficacy. We do not label the person as an alcoholic or an addict, but we would look at that person as somebody that's a unique individual that has the ability to change, and we're there to help them actually move toward that change.
Is one of the challenges for policymakers or lawmakers when it comes to dealing with addiction and treatment is that it's so much more complex and nuanced than it is creating a law banning a particular substance, the sale of or the use of a particular substance, but it's a lot harder to understand what drove the person to use that substance.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people we go through cycles, I think, in our society. For example, back in the mid-1980s, we actually stereotyped significantly the problem of crack cocaine. And whereas at the same time, we have almost giving a hero label to individuals that would come forward about other addictions. But I think there was also a race issue that we cannot deny during that time. But here, lately, especially here in Kentucky, but it's everywhere, and that is that we're looking at people with even meth addiction very differently. I mean, meth addicts, it's got to be someone that crawls out from under a rock and wears only black, whereas sometimes these are just individuals that are truly seeking out help, that want help, and the only way that we have to deal with it in our society today is to penalize them. And in some cases, we're even looking for meth registries, and people, they're almost blacklisted from any type of support from the community and from treatment communities as well. And they are no different than anyone else. Some of them actually started using the drug because they honestly wanted to lose weight or to make money. It's funny, I was interviewed once concerning this meth problem we had here in Kentucky, the Commonwealth. But where I have in my past, from rural Kentucky around here, and a lot of my relatives were in moonshining, some of these same people are the grandkids are now actually doing meth labs. And I think we need to look at that and realize that this is a product of our culture and the way that we've looked at it from society's perspective, and actually treat these people with respect and actually help them change rather than penalize them through the criminal justice system. And then give them only the option of a treatment option that in which they have to admit that they're powerless and they can't change. Now remember, addiction treatment, primarily from a meth addict, for example, a person that's struggling with a meth addiction, they're young. We're talking about a mean age of probably 22, 23. To get them to believe that they are powerless and they have to surrender to a higher power is not very realistic. And that's why we're having our success rate for a person with a meth problem is, I would say, 10 to 15% at best. Whereas we could bring that level well up over 50% if we would actually change our model and have professionals actually doing the treatment. What we have here, and not just, again, Kentucky, but also around, we have drug court systems. Here in Kentucky, everyone that is in a drug court system is forced, is mandated. It is compulsory that they actually attend spiritual-based 12-step meetings or even go to church. Now again, this is, people are being court-ordered to go to these programs. We do not have any options here for people in this, in the Commonwealth as well as in other places as well. But I think about the only way we're going to change things is, one, we're educating professional counselors. Here in this state, I mean, with our program here at Lindsey Wilson as well as other programs, we are trying to professionalize professional counseling. We're having a professional counseling impact. There is still a drug and alcohol certification here in Kentucky. The same time is we are dealing with people that have many more problems than just the drug itself. And a certified drug and alcohol counselor is not qualified to actually work with those individuals. When we have people that, by example, 70% of most people with a drug problem also has a problem with mental illness, depression, and so forth, they are not qualified to deal with those people. And besides that, most of them came actually, again, through a recovery process themselves. So it's almost like getting, like a doctor. Instead of getting you're a medical doctor, you actually become a pediatrician without becoming a doctor first. It's first you need to get the licensure as a professional counselor, marriage and family therapist, whatever the case is, and then you go for the specialization, which in this case would be drugs and alcohol. But we're getting the cart before the horse in that sense.
Assistant Professor of Counseling, Martin Wesley, thank you for joining us for Lindsey Wilson Conversations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.